Good morning, Terrans. It's a Friday morning here in Georgia, and me and my friend Bubba are waiting for the birds so Bubba can say hello. He loves to talk to birds and harass the cats. But anyway, I would like to do a video today on Terrans. You guys. And you heard me all through my video sometimes called you pain in the ass. Now, that's a complimentary pain in the ass. And the reason I say that is because if you guys had comprehension, you wouldn't be a pain in the ass. But let me, so it's said in good faith, like there's hope for you, but little. It's up to you guys. I mean, you haven't shown any in over what 10,000 of your years, maybe. You haven't shown any comprehension at all. From your first so-called civilization of the Sumerians to the present so-called civilizations that you got here, well, you can see they haven't advanced an iota. Or look at the Americans. You got a crazy president, you got a crazy Congress, and a crazy people who put them in. So you guys, pain in the ass. Europeans, same way. Russians and Chinese, they think that occupying territory and dominating people is where it's at. And they never learned from history. You had empires that had that. They came and they lost. So will they. Big time. And would anybody remember them? The Russians? No. Chinese? Well, they've been around for a long time. They'll remember Confucius, but the Chinese don't even know who he is. So, aliens will say, Confucius. And if the Chinese were still around then, they would say, huh? But anyway, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you first get into your solar system and you view your planet, say from Pluto, I mean, it's a small little speck. You won't believe how small your planet is from Pluto. You need extra magnification in order just to even look at it. In my ship, I had to use magnification 2,000 times to get your planet to say something. To look at it. Oh, it's got clouds. Yeah, it's a little blue. It's, non-remarkable. But then when you get here and you set orbit and you get all your so-called programs and communications, and trust me, it's like garbage out there. And that's the way you guys sound. Especially the Chinese. And I don't mean this condescending, Terrans. I mean this is the way you guys are. And probably any other civilization, to anybody that doesn't understand your language or comprehend what you guys are, would probably look at it that way. I mean, if you went back and talked to the Egyptians and you didn't know ancient Egyptians, you probably would have said they sounded like but hey, at least you African Americans, hey man, what's going on, homie? How you doing? At least you got something there. The Arabs, no, they don't have anything there. The Americans, I love my Constitution. Sure you do. You love money more than anything else. Money, power, and who you could screw. That is Americans. So you see, from an alien point of view, we have to look at you that way. Because you guys have nothing. And there's a lot of civilizations that are like you that are dangerous because they have achieved spacefaring capabilities. So, and by comprehension, I'll try to explain it here for the first time for you. Okay, let's say, well, He just, you guys celebrated 50 years for Martin Luther King, and I did a video on him. So, for you guys, let's say you just came out of the trees, right? And you guys look around and you see a nice sunshine and good weather like it is today here in Georgia. Uh, and you guys look at Martin Luther King and he's talking. And do you guys hear him? No, because you're hearing. That's what you're hearing. So say advance another 50,000 years and you guys are in huts. Okay, and say nobody manipulated your race, so you guys are the same guys. Okay, and Martin Luther King comes back and he starts talking, I have seen the promised land. And maybe I won't make it with you guys. But you guys are hearing, I have seen the promised land. Where? I don't see it. Where? Oh, you must be God Almighty. Oh, sure, yeah. And that's the way you would look at him. So advance another 50,000 years. And this time you're equivalent to, say, the Romans. Okay? And he goes there, and unfortunately, it's, well, we can tell we're not in Roman times here because you had one of your noisy aircrafts. Boy, you guys build noisy aircrafts on this planet. Oh, when are you guys going to find out that anti-gravity is the place to go? Well, anyway, going back to the story. He comes to the Roman times and he's right by Augustus Caesar. And he says, I looking for the glory and I have seen the promised land. And of course, Augustus Caesar is going to say, I have seen it too. I got it here. We don't need you. And off with his head. Poor Mr. King, he went to the wrong time. Well, let's go up 2,000 years, and here we are, 2018, 50 years after his death. So Mr. King comes in, say he's 35 years old, 2 years before he died, and 2 years before that speech. But he's done the march in Washington, and he comes here, and first thing he looks at is, and he quotes an old football coach of you Green Bay Packers, if you know him, Mr. Vince Lombardi. And Mr. King somehow borrows it from Mr. Lombardi and says, what the blank is going on here? This is not what I've been teaching. Because he hasn't. I mean, he'll say, well, the whites are still the whites. They shoot at whatever comes. But why do they shoot at whatever comes? Because African Americans have been learning a thing that I've taught them. In 50 years, they blew it off. They never got the comprehension. And he would be totally right. You guys in 50 years have never comprehended what he tried to tell you. Except for a very few. Like Andrew Young, like I told you in my other radio. So you see, Terrans, and especially you African Americans. I use Mr. King as an example because he is the one that tried to get comprehension on this planet. And he failed. I mean, he tried it. Mahatma Gandhi tried it. They failed. The Jesus Christ teachings, whether he was real or not, doesn't matter, but the teachings that somebody left, or a bunch of people left, tried, and they failed miserably. Mohammed, well, he tried to bring his own survival, his own rules, and try to adopt the Christianity to fit his own rules as Islam. And when you put Islam and war together, there's no religion there. It's like putting Christianity and money. You see what happens to the Catholic Church. And how about you Protestants? I mean, Baptists? Look at those guys that got these mega churches. They're in it for the money. Big time. Look at those big houses they got. Nobody's in it for human beings. There's very few doctors. that are in it to save human lives. Most of them are in it for the money. Hospitals are in it for the money. They say, oh, we need the money because we got to buy these equipments. But you don't have the comprehension to understand that money is not the answer to run a society. Neither is politics, and neither is greed or bigotry or your race is better than mine. That is not the answer. So until you guys get the answers, you're going to forever be pain in the ass Terrans. And it's easy to get the answers. But you guys don't want to do it because, hey, you don't want to give up everything that you have. The thing that we did in my home planet was we gave up a lot, but what we got in return outweighed what we gave up. And that's something that you guys don't understand, let alone comprehend here. So anyway, this is my video for today. You guys will ignore it as usual. But when your descendants in 2065 are being shot by the Mushka, and you'll never see them because they'll shoot you from space. And they won't shoot you with weapons. They'll use DNA, and you guys will die. It takes about 6 months. Painful death, too. And they'll be monitoring you for 6 months. They'll just make sure you, whatever you bring up for your so-called defense, it'll be wiped out in 4 minutes. So, you know, I mean, you guys don't match it with them at all. And you guys never understood why. We've tangled them for 3 centuries, off and on. And boy, we've lost a lot of people. But we saved a lot of people. And the ones we've saved are thriving today. Because they wanted to be saved. Not to become, they have gotten over their stupid pettiness that you guys have here. Everything goes back to being petty. And that's what you guys are. Petty, petty, petty. You guys don't even look at your fellow men or for the good of the race. You guys don't even comprehend that, let alone anything else. So anyway, that's why I say pain in the ass Terrans. Until you guys get the pain in the ass out of the way, you'll always be pain in the ass. Thank you.